All right, I'm Frank, and I am an alcoholic.
Hey, Frank.
I have a sobriety of 12/27/07, and the only significance of that is on 12/26/07, I had another blackout. Don't remember that day. All I know is I said something, or a lot of things, to my wife that the next day I ended up out of the bedroom, eventually out of the house. So I'm one of these idiots that got sober after Christmas and had to white knuckle it through New Year's. And it was a rough time, and I didn't know what to do. So I made a lot of calls. I had pretty good insurance. Finally found Los Encinas. At the time, they had a outpatient program because nobody was going to put me in a hospital for 30 days because I was too important. I had to work, you know. I had a family to provide for. Yeah. So I took the outpatient thing, and thank God I did. 3 nights a week, 3 or 4 hours each time, meetings in between. Thought I'd never get out of there. But what it did for me is it introduced me to this program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And they didn't have very many requirements. Show up, be on time, be honest, go to meetings, get a sponsor, read a big book. Pretty easy. The hard part was telling people who I was and what I was, because I didn't know. I had a 35-year history of drug and alcohol use. Alcohol was the only thing that got me through for 35 years, basically. I always lived for my next drink. I was not a daily drinker. When I did drink, I had no off button. I would drink until it was gone, and the only problem was that I made sure it was never gone. So days turned into weeks, and then I guess I was an everyday drinker. Couldn't figure that out. You know, my wife at one point told me in my life, she says, you know what, you can't have any more than 2 beers and be around the kids. I said, what are you talking about? I could drink a case of beer, not a big deal. She said, you don't understand. And I never did understand that till I came in here. After 2 beers, I changed. 2 beers of me and I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole when I don't have 2 beers of me. It's just that I verbally will come out and tell you about how much of an asshole I am. I run my life prior to Alcoholics Anonymous as with 1,000 forms of fear, and I didn't understand that till I got in here. I didn't know I was running on my will, nobody else's will. I live my life by I, not me or we, as this group has showed me. After I got out of Los Encinas, I kept asking when I was going to graduate, and about 3 months later they said, oh, you need to still stay in here. You got a lot of problems. I didn't realize that I had a great insurance so they could keep milking it. But I finally did get out of there after about 4 months, that 3 nights a week type of deal, and I was doing the morning meetings and that. I found this group over at Los Encinas. Tom was one of the first people ever reached out and shook my hand, and they welcomed me in. A month later, they made me a secretary, and I'm green as hell. I got 6 months, and they stuck me in a secretary's job. A month after that, we moved the meeting here. This meeting's been here 13 and a half years, and I was the first secretary for 7 months. You know, this place saved my life. There's a number of other meetings I attended. They've all been phenomenal, and that's the fortunate thing we have here in Southern California. You got 400 plus meetings around, you have your choice. You know, be fortunate. Remember that you could live in bumfuck Idaho, and there might be one meeting. If you got a resentment against somebody, you might never go back and never have the opportunity to experience this program. You know, the things I learned in here in the beginning, a lot of cliches, fake it till you make it, read the big book, you stay sober, don't drink, 1 day at a time. But the biggest thing I ever learned from guys like Tom and Patch and that, don't drink no matter what. And I've lived by that. You know, it's been 14 years now, and I have not had the urge or the need to go out and take a drink. I don't do drugs, I don't smoke weed, I don't do any of that little extra therapy, any of that stuff. I like to wake up in the morning knowing that I'm only sore because I'm fat and old, not because I got hammered and fell down the stairs and didn't know it. You know, it is a bonus. I wake up on the right side of the grass. This guy said he's thankful he woke up today. I'm thankful I'm on the right side of the grass today. AA is not easy. It's not hard. It's just honesty and putting one foot in front of the other. The guys that are new in here, that's in their first 30 days or whatever, you can do this program. Anyone can do this program. You just can't do it by yourself. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. You do it by meeting up with people and talking with other alcoholics and asking them, how the hell did they do it? How'd you do this? How'd you get here today? And every one of them will have a different answer, and every one of the answers works because they're still here. I found out in here, I haven't asked a question in AA about sobriety or life or anything else that I haven't gotten an answer from someone in AA. I know I can go to Tom, I can go to Patch, I can go over here to Brenton. Scott. I can talk to any of these guys and ask them and tell them what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. They might tell me your feelings are stupid, but at least they have an opinion and they'll talk to me about it. But that's what I've learned a bit here. I've learned to open up, put out there how I feel and what's going on in my life, and be as honest as I can be on a daily basis. You work these steps, you get a sponsor, you find a trudging buddy. Scott and I went through years of walking together and going through this. We're 7 days apart. We walked in these rooms at the same time. And we've all been through what everyone else has been through, different times, different things, divorces, whatever it is. You lose people in this program. You have tough times, you have good times. I hear a lot of people say, life is great, I got everything back in my life. I have far less in my life than I've ever had material-wise, and I'm richer than I have ever been. I have a peace of mind, I have a God of my understanding, and I wake up with a sober, clear mind. And I'm able to deal with the outside world. I came in here to learn how to deal with people in the outside world. It was my biggest thing, because I would just get drunk, and that's how I dealt with them. And usually I'd tear them up verbally. Sometimes we'd have fights. Most of us lost those. But I don't have to do that this day. I can drive down the freeway and not want to kill the guy in front of me, because he's an idiot and driving like an idiot. I'm not in that big a hurry. There's no point. There's just no point. This program has taught me to slow down and appreciate what I have. I just had my 8th grandchild, and she's beautiful. And I only get to experience those 8 grandkids because they've all been born when I've been sober. And I've been a part of every one of them. If I was still drinking to this day, I would have been gone. Most of you know I have 6 children. I have 5 daughters. And those kids were ready to throw me out of their life. They never gave up, but they sure wanted to step away. And since I've been sober, I'm closer to them than I ever have been before in my life. And it's a blessing, and it's only due to this program and a God of my understanding. God willing, I'll wake up sober tomorrow. There's a good chance of it because I'm here at a meeting tonight. I haven't been doing as many meetings as I'd like to. I have been working a lot of crazy hours, and I'm still trying to figure out the balance in life between work, life at home, and AA. And sometimes AA takes a back seat, meeting-wise. Other than that, it doesn't. I talk to an alcoholic every day. I stay in touch with people. I have a couple sponsees that are still sober after many years. We talk a lot on a daily basis almost. So I keep in touch with the program, but I keep going back to the steps and what they've taught me. I keep going back to the prayers. When I walked in here and I heard somebody say, God, relieve me of the bondage of self, that's what I needed. It was myself that I needed to be relieved from and be able to put that out there and get some relief from those issues. I don't have a whole lot more to say other than if you work this program and work with the men in here, and I don't mean the women in the rooms, I mean the men in the rooms. You can learn from the women, but the men are what's going to teach you how to stay sober. Because these guys are going to call you on your bullshit and keep you honest, and they all know when you're not telling the truth. And that's the easiest thing to do. Just work with these people in here and put your hand out and reach out and ask for the help. The help is there. There's phone lists all over the place. There's always guys that want to sponsor. It's an amazing thing. You know, I've been fortunate to have a number of great sponsors in my life that have kept me straight and give me something to bounce things off on if I need to on a daily basis. You know, this program taught me that I can start my day over anytime I want. I don't have to carry that resentment and be pissed off all day long. I can just start my day over and here we go again. Turn it over to God and trust in this program and it will get you through. I am Frank and I am an alcoholic.
Frank.